Welcome to April's MSUA member meeting. Thank you so much for joining everybody this morning. I am going to go ahead and jump into content here. We have a couple of special guests that will be speaking today and lots of great content to share with you. So many new programs and exciting things happening. In terms of our agenda for today, we will talk about our new member initiative. We'll have a new member initiative update. We will also talk all about the Mobile Satellite Innovation Awards that will be happening during Satellite 2021. We'll talk about our members only portal. I want to make sure everybody's getting access to that. And then Euroconsult are our special guests today, and they will be sharing some of their latest research updates, talk about World Satellite Business Week, and talk about their new Euroconsult training program and some members only opportunities related to that. In terms of, I really want to start with the Satellite Mobile Innovation Awards because deadlines are coming up soon enough, not until May, but I guess our next meeting will be kind of right before the deadline. So I definitely want to open up the floor for any questions that folks may have about submissions. There is a submission form. Everything is on the website and links to the submission form as well as to sponsoring the event are right there on the awards page. So if you go to msua.org/awards, or just go to msua.org and click on awards in the top navigation, you'll get there. In any case, we have a number of award categories, and we're actually looking at opening this up even more. What you'll notice when you go to the nomination form is that we have also broken out use cases, and there's a really long list of potential use cases. So there's an opportunity for us to give awards in some of those other category areas. So I guess I really encourage every single MSUA member to put in a nomination, whether you nominate your own organization or a user organization that you might be working with. Non-members are also invited to nominate this year. For non-members, they will be paying a $500 per category fee. Members pay nothing to nominate. This presentation, I will send it out after our meeting as well. All of these are hot linked, so it will link you directly to the submit form here. Hopefully you can see my mouse. Okay. And just a little bit more on the Mobile Innovation Awards this year. We will have both in-person and virtual because we know not everyone will be at the satellite event this year. We will be holding our luncheon like we normally do every year. The luncheon will happen at the convention center itself, so it'll be very convenient for people that are running from, different sessions and being in their booths or what have you. So we are going to do it right there at the convention center like we've done in previous years for anyone that has attended that event. It'll be on Tuesday, July 27th. And I've already mentioned this. Nominations are open now. We will be recording the event. This will be the first time we've done that. So what's great about that is that for sponsors as well as nominees and of course winners, that great recording will be available for the entire year. And if you haven't noticed on the website, we do have that awards section of our website now. And once we announce the winners this year, we will be putting short informational like paragraphs about the winning submissions. So in the past, we've just shown which companies have been recognized with the awards. This year, we really want to show exactly what they have been recognized for. So we'll talk a little bit about the solution on that awards page of our website. We'll also have a judges panel, and I'm working on identifying who the judges will be, but just suffice it to say that we have some really cool people that will likely be on our judges panel. So as soon as I have those, I will be announcing that. And then again, this is hot linked out to our sponsor form. So if you are interested in sponsoring the event, obviously we can't put on the event without our sponsors. So we really value your support in sponsoring the event, and we'll definitely make it worth the sponsorship dollars that you put into it. We will definitely highlight all of our sponsors very prominently throughout all of our promotions of the event. These are our sponsorship levels. You can see that we have member levels as well as non-members. So obviously as a member, you pay much less for your sponsorship benefits. And as you can see, there are a lot of benefits that come along with your sponsorship, in addition to kind of having that recording, being represented on the website prominently, being prominently represented throughout all of our communications related to the event. Of course, the sooner you sponsor, the more benefit you get out of this, because we'll be including the partner logos or the sponsorship logos in all of our communications. And we're hoping to start those promotions the beginning of May. So kind of if you are interested at all, definitely feel free to reach out to me directly, or you can hit marketing@msua.org with any questions as well. But yeah, we would love your support on this. Okay, in terms of member discounts, if you haven't already signed up for Satellite, or you aren't actually having a booth at Satellite, I know those come with passes. There is a member's discount of 20% that the Satellite promoters, the Access Intelligence, are giving to MSUA members. So if you don't already have access to our members portal, you can request access, and that will give you access to this special discount code. Okay, and here's the members portal. So if you go to our website and you hit under and you mouse over more, a drop down will come down, and this is where our members portal is. And this is the first time you click on it, it'll ask you to fill out a form to ask for access, and then we will give you access, presuming you're an MSUA member. So all members get access to the members portal. So be sure to go out there and do this if you haven't already. Okay, with that, I want to pass the floor over to Jennifer Hoyle from ST Engineering iDirect. She is part of our advisory council. And I definitely want to let you all know that if you are interested in becoming part of our advisory group, let me know. You can give me an email or a call. My email is president@msua.org, and feel free to let us know if you're interested in joining our advisory group. But with that, Jennifer, you want to give us an update on the user membership initiative? Oop, you're on mute.
Sheesh. Yes, I'd love to do that. I was wondering if it makes sense for me to just roll through it really briefly again for anybody who wasn't here last time.
Yeah, I think it's probably a great idea.
Okay, let me move this screen. I'm having these two computers. Okay, so we talked some about this, or actually a lot about this last time, and I'll try to be more concise this time so that we don't spend too much time on it, but we have initiated a new user member class, and the details are on the next 2 or 3 slides, but basically it gives each of us as current members the opportunity to invite an end user into the organization. And the idea is, within the scope of our organization, the goal is to support the end user. And so, but yet we don't have very many end users represented, if any, right now. And so the idea is to build out that class of members and to do it in a sort of formal way, at least this year, see how it goes. Maybe it would become something regular if it goes well. But the idea is that we each company who's currently a member can invite an end user company, and they become part of this inaugural class. And then we sort of treat them a little bit with kid gloves for the year. And I think I'm trying to read this slide that I made before. If you go to the next slide, Lisa. So you see the benefits listed here. So they would get a 1-year membership complimentary. We would put them in a press release. We would give them up to 2 free tickets to the MSUA awards that we just mentioned, as long as the company who nominated them bought 2 tickets at least of their own. And then kind of all the other regular benefits are mostly available to them as well. But I think that the general idea is to kind of handhold them through the first year. So, whether you pick a prospect of yours or a customer of yours, or some other company, doesn't have to be one of those, and bring them into the fold, then you sort of get to kind of nurture that relationship through the first year. And hopefully that brings value to your own organization as well. So that is the initiative in a nutshell. And then I think the next slide, Lisa, has the details. Yes. So we have created, as you can see, a little screenshot on the right, an HTML invite email, which we can provide to everyone to use. It sort of summarizes what the offer is. And then you can put it into your own email. And at the bottom, that big join now button collects their information, and it's just a form. And then you start shepherding them through the process of being a new member. And so we did say that the class needs to be identified by June 30th, 2021 to be eligible for this, for the inaugural class. Any questions about that, Lisa? I'm assuming that you will send out the email for others to use just in general. It was part of your regular email, overall email. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So everyone will get it. Anything else, Lisa, that I talked about? I don't think so. We didn't get any more into the weeds of what it would look like. It's pretty much in your hands. I've heard from a few of you asking for the email, so I know that some of our member companies have already started thinking about this, but to my knowledge, I don't think anyone has sent anything yet, because we just created this email.
Yes,
questions?
We've had at least one member nomination for a user organization from Roger McGarrahan's team. So
Yay.
yeah.
Good job, Roger.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think having this form now, so guys, just to kind of clarify, we do have this email, and actually this isn't showing the entire email. Below this join now, there's a section that kind of has an overview of the member benefits as well. So gives a little bit of additional detail. And then, like I said, this leads to just a special form that will only be available to those that you're nominating. So you would only want to send this, like we said, it's one user organization per MSUA member in good standing. And when I say in good standing, it just simply means that you've paid your membership dues this year.
Yeah, I think one question from last time, in case anyone else has it this time, is, if you ask company A and they decline for whatever reason, you can ask as many companies as you want until you get somebody to say yes. But then you have to stop. You can only have one date to the prom.
Exactly. So any questions about this program? Okay. Well, if you do after the call, you can feel free to reach out to us at marketing@msua.org and we'll get back to you with any answers or clarify anything that might be unclear on this. But I would say definitely take advantage of this. I mean, it could be seen as a program that you offer maybe one of your best customers, or it could even be a prospective customer, but it's a benefit that would be completely unique for you to be able to offer to a client or a prospect. Okay, so one other program, right, Jennifer, you have the LinkedIn?
I do, yeah. So the other thing we unveiled last month was this MSUA LinkedIn initiative. And so we've had a little bit of movement on it in between and kind of ready to move forward now. The general idea was that we're going to assign each member company with a week of the year in which we would request that they post about one of their end users and of course with relation to their own company. The caveats that we realized we didn't include last time are that you cannot actually how do I say this? We as members don't have access to post directly to the MSUA company page. So what we need to actually have everyone do is include either the hashtag MSUA or the MSUA handle in your post, and then the marketing team for MSUA would see that, and then they will reshare it onto the MSUA page. So what I'm going to do, Lisa's provided me with a list of the member companies and their contacts. So what I'm going to do is just at random go through and assign everybody a week, or every company a week rather, and then I will email each company, you know, the contacts from the company the week before, a couple weeks before, and include some, you know, minor details, basically what's on the slide, and then be available if anyone has any questions or needs help with it. So you really actually don't need to do anything other than kind of like store it away in the back of your mind that at some point you'll hear from me just requesting that you take this action on if you want to. It's obviously completely up to you if you want to participate, but on the other hand, you're a member and you probably want to participate. Yeah, I'm going to mute while he sharpens a pencil. But any questions? Maybe I'm not going to mute in time. Sorry, I can't find mute.
Homeschooling, what are you going to do?
Sorry about that. Any questions about that? It's pretty low bar, but we just want to increase, if it's not obvious, we just want to increase member participation on the MSUA company site, and simultaneously get more churn around end users. So there are a couple, if you weren't here last month, there are a couple of examples here on this slide, but it's the same social media that you guys already all, or your staff at least already know how to do. So I think should be pretty straightforward.
Absolutely. And I mean, I would just mention that if you are ever posting anything, we are watching everybody's social media feeds. So if your companies are very active or even reasonably active, we will likely be sharing and retweeting and so on and so forth your posts in, regardless. But anytime you want to mention MSUA, that will make it even easier for us to find your information or your posts. Okay, great. I just want to mention MSUA Game Changers Live. Many of you on the call have probably received an email or multiple emails over the last several weeks about Game Changers and scheduling your thought leader. We have a couple of really great sessions coming up. All of these end up being posted to our YouTube channel, so they're always there, and then they're always also in the LinkedIn feed, so it gets a lot of coverage. We also take the transcript from this and turn it into an article, and then we share that article over with SAT News with the hope that they will pick up that article or turn it, or maybe even it might be an outtake of the article. I think one of our interviews was, I don't know, over 4,000 words, and usually they're looking for about, I don't know, 1,500 to 2,000 words. So, so it may be an excerpt of the interview, but it's a great opportunity, and it is one of your MSUA benefits. It's a new benefit from this year, actually. So if you are you've been an MSUA member for a long time, you'll notice that there are a lot of additional MSUA benefits as we have entered 2021, and this is one of them. But as you can see, we have David Andreas from Santander Teleport that will be on Game Changers Live next week. And then Joe Spytek from Speedcast will be on the following week. So we are scheduling these about a month and a half out in advance. So definitely make sure that you get yours scheduled. And then just a really quick membership announcement. We have several new members this year, and then we're always looking for new members. If you are referring in a new member, you get the benefit of either if it's a new corporate member, a 1-month sponsorship of Mobile Satellite News. So that's our weekly newsletter, which means 4 weeks of special sponsorship recognition. And if you recommend or refer over a new small business member, it's a 1 issue, so 1 week of the Mobile Satellite News sponsorship. So definitely make sure that if you know of other organizations that would be a great addition to the MSUA, to go ahead and refer them through. Okay. And then just a really quick plug also for the Pulse. We had a new episode this week. This is hot linked over to that. Every single episode, of everything, of Game Changers Live, of the Pulse, they're all out on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and you just search Mobile Satellite Users Association, it'll come up. In any case, we just did this one on Monday. If you missed it, it was a great session with Mark Matosian from Soulstar Space. We talked all about Leo 1.0 and what went wrong, and then Leo 2.0 and kind of where things are headed there. So it was a great session, and I highly encourage you to go out there and listen to it. Of course, we'll be sharing this and promoting it on social as well. And then we have upcoming episodes that we're working on. If you're interested in recommending a panelist for either of these, it's a 5G Future Vision and then Remote Communications Reality Check. And I think I've had at least a couple of organizations express an interest. And then also, if you have ideas for other sessions, please feel free to get back to us with ideas as well. We're very open to sessions that you might want to either host or recommend as well.
Lisa, did you may have mentioned this, but did you have dates or rough dates for those two already?
No, we don't. For the 5G and the, no,
Yeah.
we don't have dates on these yet.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have for today for you guys, but definitely feel free to reach out to me. Here is all of my contact information. So feel free to call me, text me, email me, whatever is easiest for you. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to our friends from Euroconsult. They have some really great information to share with us today.
Hi everyone, so we are very pleased to be there. Thanks for welcoming us time to time to your MSUA monthly or member calls. So today we came 3 persons, so myself, Director of Sales, Alexandra, which is leading our program for the World Satellite Business Week, and Dimitri, which is our editor of the Universal Broadband Access Report for the first time release ever. So we'll bring some discounts, some benefits from a MSUA member, but also some insight from the report that was released last week. So I will just start with the reminder of our full offer in terms of market intelligence. So remember, we are covering the full value chain, so space, Earth observation, government, and SATCOM, but I know why we are here. So I think the more interesting one for you is more around mobility and SATCOM. So our flagship satellite connectivity and video market, the maritime one and the in-flight connectivity one might be the more interesting for you. But we delivered last week the universal broadband access, which Dimitri will present you. And this Q1, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. You can just go next.
Is it? I didn't know if you wanted me to move forward. Sorry.
Perfect. Move forward. Move forward.
Okay.
Our Q1 release so include ground segment market prospect, which could still be very interesting for mobility company, universal broadband access, prospect for maritime satellite communication, and prospect for small satellite market. So that's the more fresh we have for you. And as a reminder, and I think Lisa mentioned it, and she's keeping telling you in a newsletter, but you are entitled to discount to Euroconsult Market Intelligence. The discount will vary if you are a corporate member or a small business organization. So please feel free to reach out to us for discount if you're interested in anything. And remember that we can also provide specific data sets if you have any needs that are around some of our report, but not only focusing on one of them. No, I think I will hand it to Dimitri so he can introduce the report, because that's the first edition. And I think MSUA, you are the first one we are presenting the report. So enjoy the uniqueness of this presentation.
All right.
Dimitri, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the introduction, Emeline. So next slide, please.
Yeah, if you want, you can just go to the next one. That will be probably included in the record, but here it's what the universal broadband access is about and the pricing and the classic and premium features.
So thank you, Emeline. So I'm very happy to present to you some of the key highlights of this report that was released last week, as mentioned by Emeline. So in this report, we assess the state of play and the prospects for the satellite universal broadband access market. So I think before looking at some of the key trends and numbers, it's important to give a bit of a background on what universal broadband access is, right? And why it is such an important topic today. So first, what is universal service? So I think to give a highlight, so it's the principle that all people should be provided with a range of basic but good quality services at affordable prices to allow them to participate fully in society. And so when applying this to the telecom sector, the concept of universal service has been most closely associated in recent years with telecommunications in liberalized post-monopoly markets, where, as you may know, the cost of servicing some users exceeds potential revenues. And the most important objective of universal service is to really provide for social inclusion of those who, because, for example, of limited financial resources or geographic location, would otherwise not have access to those basic services available to most other people. So I think so access to broadband services is increasingly recognized as a driver of economic growth. For example, public services such as remote health advice, telelearning, for example, as well, are improved with the availability of communication networks. And so due to the benefits associated with broadband services, international organizations around the world are encouraging infrastructure development plans and government promotion of broadband use in so remote areas as well as unserved areas around the world. And in many countries, the extension of direct fixed line service networks to individual homes is included in universal access targets. Unfortunately, despite these targets, many people still cannot access broadband or at least decent broadband services, especially at home. And so significant progress has been made globally in recent years in expanding access to and adoption of broadband services. So I'm mentioning here that the number of internet subscribers or users has doubled in the past 10 years. But despite this positive trend, digital inequities still exist and have in some cases even been accentuated in recent months since the start of COVID-19, so since last year, as many people around the world have been forced to shift towards work from home, as is my case, for example, and remote learning due to stay-at-home orders imposed by many governments around the world. So maybe moving to the next slide. Yes, thank you. So in this study, we have looked at sizing both the addressable market for satellite, but also the satellite market itself. So you can see here with the chart on the left, our reasoning and the overall addressable market for satellite. So there are, let's say, just below 8 billion people worldwide, and 46% still remains unconnected, which is significant, meaning that close to half of people around the world still don't have access to internet, right? So, and with most of this population concentrated in developing regions, and overall, what we notice is the higher the level of human development of a country, the greater the access to internet. So the dichotomy between advanced and I would say emerging markets is significant. For example, I can give you an example. So 13% of people in advanced markets are unconnected. And when you compare that to emerging markets, close to 60% of people are not connected to the internet. So you can see here there's a huge difference. And there's also a dichotomy between urban and rural or remote areas. And so the low return on investment in network deployment in sparsely populated areas implies that in many of those countries, connectivity is largely limited to urban areas, or mainly urban areas, often leaving rural areas totally cut off from internet access. And so in these areas in particular, satellite, I think, has a key role to play, and it's a primary technology for filling the gap as it provides an alternative solution where extending those networks, so terrestrial networks, is really uneconomical. So moving one step below in the charts to the population so previous slide still, sorry. I was mentioning the graph on the left. So looking at the addressable market by satellite. So this includes the unconnected population that could be addressed by satellite and the underconnected population. So this would mean people that are currently connected to broadband, but with insufficient data rates, for example, or data caps, or a service that is too expensive. And so we estimate that the total addressable market for satellite is around 700 million people in 2020, with this expected to grow by the end of the 2020s. So new satellite technology and next generation satellites, so like for example, VHTS satellites like ViaSat-3, which is planned for launch in coming years, and NGSO constellations like Starlink, for example, will lead to improved economics enabled by lower capacity pricing that are expected to drive higher data rate requirements. And in addition, constellations as well are expected to unlock new growth opportunities for latency sensitive applications, like for example, cellular backhaul. So this overall should make satellite solutions more attractive and competitive compared to terrestrial solutions in coming years. And overall, I think the negative impact of growing terrestrial deployments in coming years should be largely counterbalanced by improved services for satellite that should lead to satellite services increasingly targeting underconnected areas aside from rural areas. And so looking at this last layer of the chart, so the bottom one, we estimated the actual number of satellite broadband users. And so in 2020, we estimated at 43 million people globally, so which is around 1% of the world's connected population. And with this number expected to expand rapidly in coming years to over 100 million by the end of the 2020s. So next slide, please. So this slide gives a bit of more of a detailed overview of the satellite universal broadband market itself. I think important to mention what we include in the report. So we focus on three main solutions that are used to address the market. So we included community Wi-Fi hotspots, consumer grade broadband, so which can be referred to as well as DTH, or direct to home broadband, and cellular backhaul. So you can see the definitions here on this slide. And I think so overall, consumer broadband is currently the dominant satellite option in advanced economies like North America and Europe, while Wi-Fi hotspots are the most used options in emerging markets, especially Latin America, Asia, and Africa as well more recently. And so this is mainly due to the lower cost of services and the ability to share costs among a larger number of users. So overall, consumer broadband services account for most of the capacity leased, so satellite capacity, with over 80% of the total today. And North America, importantly, is the world's largest consumer broadband market and accounts for close to 2/3 of total capacity demand today. So I think when looking at this total market value, so we estimated the market value in the study for satellite broadband services, and we expect revenues, so including capacity and services, to triple in the next decade to around $17 billion in 2029. And so just maybe to conclude my presentation, I would say that there is still a lot of work to do to be in a position to really bridge the digital divide around the world in coming years. And satellite really has a key and central role to play, especially in the post-COVID-19 world in coming years, as many areas around the world should remain unconnected and underconnected. So that's it for my presentation. Emmeline, I'll hand it maybe back to you for.
Sure. Any questions?
Or any questions? Yeah.
For Dimitri? You may be on mute if you're trying to talk. Okay. Well, thank you so much for this overview of this special study. I feel very special that at the MSUA is getting the very first sneak peek at what you all found here.
Sure, thank you.
And just to mention it again, the member portal on the website is where you get access to the discount code for Euroconsult research. So make sure you get access to that. Okay, so we're going to talk about World Satellite Business Week also. And guys, if you do have a question that comes to mind, feel free to sneak in at any point. So just interrupt us. But Alexandra,
really exciting. Yeah, that's me, and I can take over. Thank you for helping us with with the slides, and also thank you from our side for giving us the opportunity to talk today during your meeting. As Emmeline mentioned, so my name is Alexandra Gergano, and I'm part of the Euroconsult events and marketing team here in Paris. And as part of my responsibilities, I also oversee the program for the World Satellite Business Week, which we are delighted to announce that this year it will be happening in an augmented edition and format, both in Paris and globally worldwide between the 13th and the 16th of September. Across our 4 days of the event, you'll discover about even like more than 40 sessions addressing basically the entire space and satellite value chains and markets. And I've highlighted here a few of them, of these sessions that might be of interest for your community, which includes topics such as universal broadband in Africa and Latin America, Asia. We'll be talking about IoT as well as maritime and in-flight connectivity. Today was a very good and special day for us because we've just confirmed our 100th speaker today on the program. So I do invite you to check our website out at satellitebusiness.com to discover our detailed program as our first full list of speakers confirmed so far. And of course, we're delighted to take the opportunity to announce that this year we'll be having a closer cooperation with MSUA. And on this occasion, we're also pleased to announce that we have 2 MSUA member discounts available for the registration at the World Satellite Business Week in the 2 options, both on-site and online, which Lisa, I'm assuming that they will be available on the member portal. And just to close up and summarize is that the registrations are now open, and we hope to see as many of you there in Paris or online with us.
Great. Thank you, Alexandra, for that overview. This is really exciting. And thank you also for offering our members this fantastic discount.
Last but not least, I think we have a last slide.
Yep. Oops. There we go.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. So the last but least promise, after that we are done with Euroconsult. So just as a reminder for the MSUA members, so last year we did relaunch and rebrand our training. So for some of you that didn't know, we have a sister company called Euroconsult, which is more focusing on engineering services. So we built this 4 topics or 4 modules program that can be detailed in sub-modules. So some of them are more on the technical side and engineering fundamentals. Some of them are on the program management operating management, and after that going more to legal, regulatory, insurance, and of course the market dynamics closer to Euroconsult consulting and market intelligence services. So it's something we already have some expert dedicated to do this kind of training. We have already some MSUA member in touch with us regarding this offer. So again, you will benefit from being an MSUA member if you're interested. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you are interested for some already space expert, or for also maybe some people joining your company and not 100% confident with space sector. That's for both type of organization. And thank you for having us at the meeting, because I think now we are done.
This is great. Any questions on this training piece? I was really excited to hear about this, and really pleased that Euroconsult was offering our MSUA members special access to this as well. I think this is a fantastic way for us to, one, expand our team's capabilities, but then also potentially expand the number of people that we are bringing into the industry, right? If there's ways to get them trained on the basics and get that out of the way. I know when I first entered the industry, there was a pretty big learning curve. So I can definitely appreciate how great it would be to just have access to some of this educational content. Any questions about, well, anything? Okay.
That's good. Presentation was fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Lisa,
Yeah.
Frank,
Oh,
just
hi,
quick
Frank.
questions. Hi. Will the presentations be shared after this this meeting?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah, this presentation, I'll send out the presentation via email straight away, so you guys have access to all of the hot links that are included in the presentation itself. And then I will also send through the recording, the link to the recording. And this will be in the newsletter as well. If you are getting the newsletter, and I know it's so easy to ignore because it's in amongst thousands of emails that you get every day, but geez, I really encourage you to scroll through that, because literally everything that we covered today, as well as other member-only opportunities, are included in that newsletter oftentimes. So I would highly recommend that. I know you have a lot of emails, but if you have a chance to just scroll through it really quick, it will give you access to everything that you need to know. And then also utilize the website. Really, there's links, like I said, to to the nominations for the awards, to sponsor the awards, to know what's happening in terms of the pulse, and to see the latest Game Changers episodes. Literally everything is out on the website as well. And then in the newsletter, we try to make sure that we're highlighting everything, putting replays of calls like this as well if you can't make it. I know time zones can be difficult as well. So we do really appreciate that all of you that have taken the time out of your schedules today to be here with us. And definitely just want to open the floor for questions one more time, just in case anything has come to mind on any of the topics that we might have covered today. Okay. Well, if anything comes to mind after the fact, please feel free to reach out to us. You can always email me at president@msua.org, or almost any of the other topics, you can email marketing@msua.org, and we'll get you to the right person. Great. Well, with that, I really want to thank our guests from Euroconsult for being here and Jennifer Hoyle for her special presentation as well. And for all of you that, like I said, took time out of your schedules today to be here. We really appreciate it and hope that you got a lot of value out of this call. And we look forward to seeing you in May, which will be second week of May, the second Thursday in May. We'll send out the invitation very soon after this call as well, so you can put that on your calendars. Thanks, everybody, and have a great rest of your day or evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for having
you.
us. Have a great afternoon.
You
Thank
too.
you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.